guys, this is Miss Orlando. I'm going to go ahead and just create this video for new students who maybe don't know how to navigate our course, just so you have a little instructional tool to help you. So first of all, this is the first page that should pop up when you click on the English 2, when you are in your dashboard and you click on the English 2 link. So this is the course page, or my announcement page as I sometimes call it. It has my picture, information on how to contact me. If you haven't already put my number in your cell phone, go ahead and do that. Put me on speed dial, because anytime you have a question, I'd love to hear about it. But I do want to just point out a few things that are super important. So first thing are these 4 buttons. Okay, guys, these are your best friends in this course. I say that because when you click on one to download it, you'll kind of see. So I'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like here. Click on, and I have a Mac, so mine comes, at the bottom left-hand side. If you have a PC, a little window will pop up, but I'm sure you know about that. So this is what a DBA study guide looks like. What you're going to do is download this at the very beginning, so it should be like the first thing you do before you go into your module, and then save it on your computer. As you go through each module, all this information needs to be filled out. So, what you want to do is, you go through the first module and you'll talk about, you'll read the story of the pomegranate seeds. And as you read it, I want you to take notes. Okay, what happens in the beginning of the story? What happens in the middle? What happens in the end, etc. You're going to look at a lot of these concepts just to make sure you understand what's verbal irony, what's understatement, what's malapropism. And then same down here as well, which we'll be talking about conflict. What's conflict? What's theme? What is it to persuade, to inform, to entertain? So all of these things, if you don't know them already, maybe jot a couple of notes as you go through your modules. The cool thing about this, guys, is if you have this completely filled out, you feel really confident about all these concepts, you're done, even before your DBA, even before your exam, because you can use this during your DBA and exam. It is an open note quiz and exam, which is great. So you can have this. My huge suggestion is definitely utilize this if you can, okay? So though we have those for each and every module. If you're starting in segment 2, you want to go ahead and click on module 3, and you'll do modules 3 and 4. If you're starting with segment 1, you'll want to start with module 1, and you guys will be doing modules 1 and 2 for segment 1, okay? So just FYI there. Another thing I wanted you to know about, another resource you have, are these videos. So each of these is for a different module. So if you want to click on module 1, lessons 1 through 6, if that's what you're doing, you'll click on go. And here is our Vimeo account that has all of the, all the lessons in it, which is pretty cool. So feel free, if you're having trouble, or even if you're not having trouble, you just want to get some extra information to, check this out. All right. Another thing that's super important, guys, is this little drop-down menu here. This is, these are all of the free course novel PDFs and audiobooks that we offer. When you're starting in segment 1, you do have to read a novel in segment 1. So anything, you're going to either choose Of Mice and Men, Hiroshima, Enrique's Journey, Ender's Game, or Their Eyes Were Watching God for that first segment. Any of these work. Just make sure you're picking one and reading it as soon as possible, because you will have to have the entire novel read by 2.05 is the lesson. You need to have it done by, okay? If you are in honors and in segment 2, these are the 2 novels that you'll need to, or one of these novels you'll need to read. So you can choose between Jane Eyre and Rebecca. So feel free to do that. Like I said before, they're PDF and audio. So if you prefer to listen, you can go ahead and click on that as well. Totally fine with me, okay? All right, last thing I want to show you in this, page is our collaboration calendar. So this has every collaboration date and time for the entire month. What you want to do is, when you're ready to do your collaboration assignment, you're going to go ahead and, like, 10 minutes to 15 minutes before the lesson starts. So let's say it's Tuesday, December 5th, and you want to go to the irony lesson. You want to click on this calendar. It's just like a big hyperlink. You want to click on this calendar at about 6:45 to 6:50. Okay, and then this little thing will pop up. Just follow all the instructions to download Blackboard, and then when you get to this screen, you're going to put your first, if I can type here, your first and last name and your teacher's last name, just like that, and then click login. to be all ready to and signed in for the lesson, okay? So that is how you do a collaboration. And if you have questions about that, you can always shoot me a text or call me, okay? So one last thing I want to show you are these icons up here. These are also super important. So this icon here is your lessons icon. If you click on this, all of your lessons will pop up, okay? So what you're gonna do, instead of clicking on these tiles that they're really cool looking, and a lot of students click on them, but I think they're kind of annoying because you have to click through each and every lesson to get to the lesson you want. And instead of that, if you click on this menu icon here, let's say you're in Module 1, so you're gonna click on Module 1, you can actually see all the lessons in this one nice little appearance here. So let's say you're on 1.02, you're doing your poetry, okay? How you're going to go ahead and do this is you're going to click on either these arrows here to go through the lesson. So that's number 2, number 3, okay? Or if you want to go, let's say you want to navigate this way, you can go ahead and click on this arrow and you can click on whatever one of these you want, okay? So the biggest thing that I want to go ahead and just let you know is reading through these lessons is super, super important, okay? Make sure you're going through each and every, we have all these little things here you can kind of click through too. Make sure you're clicking through them and that you're actually going through and reading. Otherwise, things get really, really confusing, I promise, okay? So definitely go through, take the time to actually look at the lessons. Now, as far as the assessments, at the end of each lesson, you're going to see that there is a little assignment. It's in a tan box, okay? So it's going to tell you everything you need to do to successfully complete the lesson. So you'll see number 1, complete the lesson and self-check. So if you've actually gone through the lesson, gone through each of the little self-checks, then you're good to go there. Number 2, complete the graphic organizer and magazine paragraph. Now, what do you do for that? Always on this last page, or sometimes it's on the second to last, but usually on the last, you'll see where it explains what the assessment is, okay? You must read these very carefully, guys, or it's very confusing, okay? So for this assessment, you'll select one poem from the Virtual Poetry Museum, okay? So you're going to click on the number 1 is select and read a poem from the Virtual Poetry Museum. So that's the first thing. So we're going to just click on that. These are all the poems you have options to read, okay? So She Walks in Beauty Like the Night is an option. The Bean Eaters, No Love is Not Dead. All of these are up for grabs. Okay, so let's say we want to do a part. So I'll click on a part. The poem will come up and you'll go ahead and read this. Obviously not the French one, just the English one. All right. All right. So once you've selected and read that, the next thing is to fill out your Experiencing Poetry Organizer, which is also a little link here. So you'll click on that. This is where, this is the graphic organizer you'll need to fill out for this assessment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it to my computer, and that makes it so that I'm able to then type in it, okay? Which is great. Okay. Now, when you're typing in these, just make sure, guys, that you're using complete sentences. I'm also going to go ahead and tell you full credit is usually not given for one sentence. So give me a completely developed answer in each of these boxes, okay? That's really important. All right, cool. So once you finish that, guys, the last thing you're going to do is select one of these magazines. So select one magazine from the options below you think would be a good place to publish the poem you read about, okay? So you're either going to say, oh, it should be in Love Stinks, it should be in Family and Friends, or it should be on Cloud 9. And you're going to go ahead and write a paragraph of 5 to 7 sentences to explain why that's the poem, or why that's the magazine your poem should be published in, okay? Provide supporting evidence by using quotations from the poem to justify and support your opinion. I will say that that's one of the most important things, guys, using the evidences, and you'll see that in almost every single assessment. They're going to want you to use evidence, and if you don't, it's a lot of points off of your score, okay? You also want to follow standard spelling, grammar, and punctuation rules. That's another thing that can get you in trouble if you don't pay attention to that. So let's say that I am done, okay? And let me go ahead and get to the other one. Did I X out of it? I might have. I'll go ahead and get back into it. Okay, so let's say that I have finished this, okay? It's completely done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save it, okay? So, and actually I'm going to, yeah, okay. So I'm just going to save it, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it into or upload it, This is the last thing you have to do. So to upload anything, guys, you're going to go to your Assessments tab. I'm going to go ahead and click on the assignment that I'm doing, which is 1.02 poetry. And you'll see at the very bottom here that there's a place where you can select optional file to upload. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to add a file. There's this little button here, add file. You're going to find whatever, so I didn't title mine, so it's going to be untitled. I'm going to go ahead and open that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I am going to, let me see, where's the, so sorry, normally there's a little, oh, I think that we just save it. Submit for grading, that's what it is. You have to click this little button there and then submit for grading, okay? And then at that point, you're all done, all right? So that is exactly how you upload an assignment. Now let's say you have a quiz. So once you go through 1.03, you don't have to upload anything because it's just a quiz. You'll just click on it when it says to do it and then answer the questions as you go. So you'd click and obviously you're answering the questions and you're not just clicking, but that's all you do. And at the end, it'll ask you to submit at the very end, okay? And you have to click the box to show that you're ready to submit the exam. So that is how you submit assignments, guys. You're going to always go to the assessments tray whenever you want to submit something, and the lessons tab anytime you want to actually do a lesson, okay? The home tab is just going to be my home page that we already talked about earlier. And then this is the other one, your email. So you're going to click on that anytime and you'll see, sometimes there's going to be emails from other students. Sometimes there's going to be emails from me, but you always want to keep an eye on this email tab as well. And that helps you with, staying in communication with your classmates and also myself. So guys, that really is the big stuff that I needed you to know about. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask me. Text me, call me, email me, whatever's easier for you. And, I will absolutely would love to answer any questions, okay? I hope you're having a great day, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye.